wide number of additional items that have been added to this drop, including a large number of brand new mechs. But more interesting is there's now a ammunition cost associated with weapons that use ammunition. So your missiles, your AC weapons, your machine guns, anything that uses ammunition has a very small, relatively small for most of the weapons, cost. So given that, I thought it was a good time, since we've actually done a lot of substantial stuff in our last playthrough, I thought we should start a brand new playthrough and see how this change in game dynamics would impact the game with a new company where the expense of the ammunition might be felt a lot more earlier on in the game. So we're in a brand new start with Masterminds and Lancers. We've just started our business. The only thing we did is we started as a pirate start, just to make things a little bit more challenging. And we started off off the bat at a 3-skull planet. So we had to move to a planet that actually had missions that we can handle. So let's take a look at what we have available. So we have a Jenner that we just started. So I took one mission just to see if I could understand the new game mechanics a little better before we move forward. So we rolled out with a Shadowhawk, a Blackjack 1, a Commando, a Wasp, and a Jenner. We picked up the Heavy Metal DLC package, and we picked up, of course, an Icarus. I always end up with an Icarus when we get the DLC patch for some reason, and I'm not a fan of the Icarus at all. But it is what it is. So we've got that going for us. All right, now do I want to go without a Jenner for 2 days? We've got now, one of the cool things that popped up is Battletech Advanced now has this live fire exercise that if you go to this planet, you get a cash-only payment. So it's like a training mission for Battletech Advanced. That's really cool, but it's on another planet. So we're going to have to figure out how we address that issue, because it's going to take me 21 days to travel there. That's almost as much cost as far as time as the reward. So that's something we have to think about. So we've got a straight up battle here. We've got a number of straight up battles here. So no lines. So we've got a lot of straight up battles here. So let's just take a half skull mission here. And what we're really trying to do is we're trying to gather resources here, because let's see. All right, so we've got 2 lances. So I did get this really awful Wasp here. I guess I can use that as a sensor locker. So let's bring that in. We do need a pilot because one of our pilots got hurt. All right, so let's see this. What do we want to do here? I guess we'll start working on upgrading Freak Show here. And let's drop. So I'm always excited when we start a brand new playthrough of this game. Obviously, it's a lot of fun. You'll note we do not have our camera up and running today. That's because we are in the process of moving right now, and that's just one more piece of clutter when we're showing our house. So we're actually packed away the green screen just temporarily. So hopefully that'll be back in the next day or so, and we can get back to business as usual. But let's get psyched up for our first on-camera mission. As I said, I did one quick mission just to get a feel for the new game mechanics, especially with ammunition. So let's see what we can do here. Now we have 9 days until we have to pay our bills, so getting some cash is going to come in handy. All right, let's begin mission.
Command interface initiated.
All right, this is a straight up battle. I always prefer those early on because it doesn't force you to do anything that's too risky early on. All right, so we got a huge bit of territory that we need to cross there. Thank you for the follow. I'll check in on that in a minute. We've had some steady improvement in our followers, even though we haven't been able to stream for the last couple days. So we really appreciate that. I'm really hoping that in the next couple days we're going to get back into our routine for streaming. But you know, when you're trying to move and sell a house, things get complicated. So
all right, let's get down to it.
Hopefully we'll get it back into our regular routine before too long. Alright, so we have that wasp. That wasp is really not very useful as a weapons platform. But with our sensor locker in there, we can use the wasp still as a sensor locker and as a scout. We just have to be very careful with it because it's super fragile. And we can keep up our operation tempo despite the fact that we don't have our Jenner, which got fortunately hurt. Alright, so let's do a...
Affirmative.
See if we can scout ahead carefully without exposing ourselves too much. As you can see, this wasp only has an SRM-4, so not really viable. It can do maybe some backstabbing, but with only 240 armor, there's not much we can do with that wasp.
Waiting on you, Commander.
Alright, let's push up with everybody else. Alright, we got a vehicle isolated here, so we should thank you for joining us, by the way. As I stated earlier, with the drop of the updated mod version 7.41, we've done a brand new fresh start on our playthrough of Battletech Advanced. So this is literally the second mission of our company. I did one mission off camera just to get the mechanics down, or start to get the mechanics down of the updated mod because there's a lot of changes.
Take this.
Alright, good hit on the laser there from the commando. It's always fun and challenging when you start a fresh playthrough because everything becomes new and exciting again because we're trying to constantly upgrade our weapons available and our mechs available. And we're kind of working with not so ideal parts. So in this case, we did a pirate start, which is much more difficult than if we started as one of the inner sphere main houses. So that increases the challenge factor. And also, given the fact that the new update on the mod really impacts some of your cash flow by making you pay for refill ammo, I started off with a much lower
I'm on the clock.
cash amount to start my campaign. There's also a lot of cool startup
All right, let's get down.
options. There's more options for your backstory. There's also different changes for your history that will impact you. For example, I was able to select one of the options for my success was my reputation, which really increased our relationship with the Mercenary Review Board right off the bat, which is going to allow us to hire better pilots. So that's kind of an interesting twist on things. All right, not good hits from our
Receiving you.
BJ. Now our BJ, keep in mind, has really bad pilot in it as far as gunnery skills. Only a level 2 gunner. Unfortunately, one of our pilots got hurt. So let's actually use the Wasp as a sensor locker here. Let's try to take out this J. Edgar while we can, while it's isolated. Alright, we got this J. Edgar and 3 mechs to deal with. So if we can get this J. Edgar off the field quickly, and it looks like it's going to help us by coming within melee range here, that might be a huge help.
Well,
Alright,
that looks like
so the
some
J. Edgar's
success.
acting as a sensor locker.
What can I do for you?
Alright. Alright, so our commando. Alright, our commando doesn't have a good chance for a hit there. So let's actually push the commando up.
Going turbo.
Ooh, we've got a support lance plus the mechs that we're dealing with. Ooh, a nice Raven. That's going to be hard to shoot. So let's go for the Galleon
All
here.
weapons are go.
Not good chances of a hit there. Keep in mind we're dealing with brand new pilots, so things are going to be a little rough here.
Pedal to the metal.
Alright, see if we can
Alarm off.
let's see if we can just spam this J. Edgar here. Maybe try to get it out of our hair.
Firing everything I've got. Good to go. Coordinates received.
Same thing here.
Target marked.
This J. Edgar has high evasion, and we're not close enough to melee. So next turn, hopefully we can melee it and get rid of it. In the meantime, we got multiple mechs coming in. That Raven would be really good salvage at this stage. A Raven would be a very nice addition. Alright, so we got some vehicles moving in, so this is an interesting challenge because we've got a lot of enemies coming at us all at once.
Minor damage, Commander. Nothing to see here.
And I don't have the best pilots. I don't want to do a charge here. But we can do is do a little bit of a retreat here, just to give ourselves some time and space. And we'll spam this J anchor again, see if we can get lucky. No luck there.
Waiting for orders.
Alright, Wasp. Alright, so the Wasp we're actually going to use. Maybe we can give these guys a rabbit to chase here. And what I mean by that is, if we keep our Wasp evasive, head off in one direction, maybe we can keep some of these targets distracted while we... So let's see. Let's do a sensor lock here. Let's do a sensor lock on the J. Edgar. No, we can't. Just outside of range. Guess we'll do a sensor lock on the Raven. But really, I'm just trying to use the Wasp to keep some of these enemies distracted here. Alright, let's do a little bit of a retreat here with the Commando. Since we're outnumbered, we're going to have to play this smart and do this strategically. So one thing I can do is I can actually try to hit this Raven. Maybe we'll get lucky. Oh, so close. Yeah, we got a couple hits in. Alright, so it looks like some of these mechs at least are interested in going after my Wasp. So if I keep using the Wasp as a distraction, it might buy us some time to take out some of these enemies, because we're a little bit outnumbered here and we don't have the best pilots to deal with that. So we have to play a little bit of cat and mouse here.
You've got nothing. You hear me?
Which isn't that bad. I mean, these opponents are not that bad as long as we don't take any serious hits too early here. So we got an Irby. I'm not sure what this 30-ton mech is. Alright, hopefully the J Edgar will stay within melee range. No. See, it knows. It probably figured out we were trying to do a melee on it. So it's trying to pull away. Our Commando still might be in range for melee. We'll see what happens next turn. It's always interesting how your strategy changes with a fresh playthrough, because you have to... Ouch, that hurt my Commando there. Now that Saladin is probably within melee range.
I hear you.
For example, the Blackjack here. So let's do that. So one of the new changes is, with melee now, you can actually fire your weapons after melee. So this is a big change to the game, and it actually kind of makes sense. So let's give you an example here. So we're going to kick the Saladin.
On my way.
But we can also shoot several of our weapons after the melee. Alright, so that's structure exposed. And we got some good hits.
Receiving you.
So that actually does give you a chance. Here, let's do it again. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to kick.
Piece of cake.
This might actually finish this vehicle off.
Ooh.
Oh, we missed with the melee, but let's see if we can actually hit with our weapons. Alright, we got a couple hits in.
I'm on the clock.
Alright, can we get in range for melee? Yes. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to kick.
Alright, let's get down to it.
Hopefully we'll connect with the kick here. This is a very evasive target, though.
Agreement.
Alright, we hit with the melee. And we destroyed it. So, before this updated mod, we would have damaged that enemy but not destroyed him. But now that melee actually allows you to shoot some of your primary weapons, it actually is a bit of a game changer and makes melee much more useful. Alright, so we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna work to keep this wasp very evasive and just cause a distraction here. Oh, we got a Herbie lamb. So we got two Herbies and a raven. Alright, so the commando actually is in range for melee. So early on in the game, when your pilots are not as good with their gunnery, melee is a perfectly valid way of getting through some early battles. Especially now that we can shoot after you melee. There's another good example of that. It kind of changes your strategy quite a bit when you think about it.
Not much armor left in that location.
Alright, gotta watch this Herbie, because that Herbie has a pretty good sized weapon on it. Probably an AC-10 would be my guess. Alright, so now the Raven is acting as a sensor locker. Okay. That's fine. One thing we could really use right now is tags for my scouts. That would be really nice right now.
I'm being flanked. Okay, that was a hard hit.
I just dropped my coffee and I'm fucking angry.
I hear ya.
Alright, so our blackjack actually can go in and do melee here. So let's go ahead and do that.
No need to tell
Again,
me
the
why.
fact that we have new pilots
Good.
and you can shoot after melee really makes melee early on in your campaign or your career very much more interesting. I think it's a very different strategy thought process when you can actually do melee and shoot some of your weapons. It makes melee much more attractive. So we're going to have to see how that changes our strategy here.
Now who's dumb for having all the...
Waiting for orders.
Alright, I mean, we're going to keep...
Aye, aye.
Keep doing melee when possible here, when we have an enemy isolated.
I'm on the clock. What do you want?
Just makes good sense to do this.
The cream of the crop flies to the top.
Especially when we're outnumbered, if we can isolate an enemy in the short term,
I can see why
that's
people
good for us
Waiting for
strategically.
orders.
And we need to keep this wasp really distracting
Aye,
these
copy.
enemies here. And you know what? Shooting an Herbie in the back is probably a good way to get its attention. It does have an AC-20, so
Acknowledge.
like I said, this Herbie's got significant firepower.
What can I
Probably
do
the
for you?
most dangerous of anything on the battlefield right now. And since this enemy is highly evasive, alright, got a bit of a challenge here because this. Alright, so we might actually. good chance with this on this Raven. Oh, just missed. Just missed.
Ooh, I may need some more time in the simulator. Losing lots of armor.
Hold on 1 second, guys. I was asked to see if I can help another streamer out, hopefully in their efforts to get affiliated. So give me 1 second. I just want to open up his stream and help him out. So let's do that. So it looks like he's not available right now, but he is. So I gave him a follow.
Commander?
Alright, let's keep working on these enemies for melee here.
Right, Commander.
When we have an enemy isolated and we're able to melee with young, inexperienced pilots, that's usually a good way to go. Alright, so that Irby decided to go after our Wasp,
Commander.
which was not so good for our Wasp, but
Move order.
I can get my Icarus in here. So the Irby actually gave its rear to our Icarus. So it's worth taking a shot here.
I'll make them dead.
Oh, we missed. Oh, he just swivel. He didn't actually turn towards our Wasp. That's okay.
Oh, it looks like they know what they're
Alright.
doing. Know who's
Shot to the rear from one of our vehicles. That J Edgar, but let's see if we can do some serious damage to this Pegasus. Again, we have it isolated,
agreement across
so melee to destroy it is a good idea. For sure.
bring
Alright, I wish it would save ammo, especially now that we're paying for ammo.
I can see why people enjoy this line of work.
Orders.
Alright, Wasp, what are you going to do? What are you going to do, Wasp? We're going to have to keep our Wasp evasive. As evasive as we can.
Firm.
Alright, this Raven is actually not very evasive itself. So let's take a shot here instead of doing sensor lock. Good hits there on that Raven.
I hear ya.
Alright, let's actually send... Let's send the commando to try to clear up finish off this J Edgar, because the last thing we want is an enemy mech in our rear. That's just a bad idea. Or an enemy vehicle, I should say.
Good to go.
So, if we let the commando focus on that...
On my way.
Unfortunately, we have our horrible pilot here. What does he have? He can actually shoot the Raven. He can also hit the urban mech in the rear. Alright. He does not have multi-target. Does not have multi-target, so I gotta pick one target. So I'm gonna have to, unfortunately, I'd rather go after the Irby, but we're gonna have to go after the Raven here.
Commencing Alpha Strike.
Still got some good hits on the Raven. And the Raven is, ooh, some hard hits on our Wasp there, even though it was highly evasive.
Reporting. Internal damage.
We're gonna have to play this smart here. Alright, so we've got a good opportunity to hit that Raven because it's got low evasion. We also can do a precision strike here. So let's go for one of the legs of the Raven.
Target acquired.
Is the Irby going to go after the Wasp? Oh
A little
no.
harder now.
Oh boy. Our Wasp got hit by that AC-20. Okay. Well, you know, we said we were going for a harder start right now. That was very lucky that he was so evasive and yet he still got hit by that AC shot.
Bleeding, Commander.
Yeah, now we got another pilot injury. Alright, that's okay. That's the way the Battletech ball bounces sometimes.
Well, it looks like somebody's an asshole.
Right. To be honest, that Wasp was probably
The clock.
not going to be useful for very much longer anyways, so I mean, I'm not happy that I lost my Wasp there, don't get me wrong, but you know, sometimes things happen for a reason.
Alright, let's get down to it.
Alright, I'm inclined to try to just get rid of this J. Edgar here. Even with these bad hit percent chances, let's just go for it. Alright. Biggest risk on the battlefield, as we saw with our Wasp, is that, okay, we can do a punch on this J. Edgar with our commando. Okay, good hit with melee.
Good to go.
Alright, let's actually pull back the Blackjack.
Hits received.
And yeah, let's just spam this J. Edgar. See if we can get lucky. Alright, at least the Beagle probe got destroyed, so he can't be a sensor locker against us anymore. That's a good thing. Alright.
Ready for orders.
Now, I know we lost our Wasp,
All on air.
but this mission is still pointed firmly in our direction here.
Locked down.
Okay. The biggest threat we have is that Irby with the AC-20. So, and it's going to take a while for him to get in range. And we kind of have these vehicles isolated here, so let's try to take those out as much as we
Commander,
can here.
Taking some hits, huh?
Yeah, I know you're taking some hits. It's fine. Hey, Scrub literally got blown away. So I think you can handle a few shots.
We're getting outflanked.
Alright, that's okay. That's alright. We're going to work on clearing up these vehicles.
I'm on the clock. What do you want?
Let's see. Alright, we're going to have to go after the vehicle we can get melee on, which is the Galleon here.
Cream of the crop.
Nice melee hit there. Good hits from our weapons.
Commander?
Okay, we're going to do the same thing again.
Affirmative.
Good melee hit. And a hit with our large laser. That was nice.
Minimal damage, Commander.
Oof. Galleon got some hits in on our commando.
Daylight through my armor, waiting for orders.
But alright, we should be able to hit the galleon here with a kick. And our weapons. Vehicles are going to nickel and dime us.
Yes, Command.
That's the big concern here. Alright, let's finish off this galleon. Hopefully.
Report. Vehicle destroyed.
I'm on the clock. What do you want? Let's make some bad decisions at high speed.
Alright, let's do a precision strike. See if we can just finish off this vehicle here. There we go, there goes that J. Edgar finally. Alright, so now we have 3 mechs to deal with.
Commander?
Alright, and again, we kind of have this Raven isolated, so... Alright, let's keep our commando evasive. Let's use a precision strike here. If we can hit this leg...
All weapons are go.
Yes. Alright, we took off the leg on the Raven.
Critical hit.
Thank you for the follow there. I'll give you an update on the follows very shortly. Takes a minute for them to load into my overlay, but we really appreciate the follows. Especially since we weren't streaming for a couple days, those are deeply appreciated.
Waiting for orders.
Alright, so that Raven is down on the ground. We're probably not going to get a better opportunity to get some good hits in on this Raven while he's down on the ground.
Critical hit, Commander. Order. Location confirmed.
Let's see if we can get this other leg. We can get this other leg. Ooh, center. We got a torso hit there.
Critical hit.
Really hoping to get the leg before he got back up.
I'm on the clock. What do you want?
Alright, let's push up with our Shadow Hawk.
Let's make some bad decisions at high speed.
Alright, so we can hit the Raven. We can hit the Irby. Well, we're going to go for the Irby here. Good hits on Irby with the AC-20. Just trying to get that AC-20 off.
Well, who needed salvage?
But that was a solid hit there.
Good to go.
Commando, you keep evasive and keep working on that
Moving
Raven.
fast. Firing everything I got.
There goes the Raven. We're only going to get one part, I think, out of that.
Gotcha.
Yep, one salvageable part. But hey, we're only going to get 2 choices of salvage anyways, so the most
Got it.
parts out of that Raven that we could have gotten was 2 anyways, so let's do a precision strike here. You know what, let's go for the weapon arm of the Irby.
Tell me what to shoot.
Yes! Alright, there goes that AC-20.
Critical hit,
Which
Commander.
really changes our strategy instantly with this battle. So now we're in a really good place.
Receiving you. Okay, I'm on it.
Alright, let's keep hitting this Irby. Alright, there goes the Irby.
Hostile removed.
One salvageable part.
I'm on the clock. What do you want?
Alright. So now we got numbers. We've got tonnage advantage. Plus this Irby does not have a lot of weapons on it. The downside is as a lamb, it can become pretty evasive, and we lost our sensor locker. So we're just gonna have to just spam this guy
Good to go.
and see how long it takes us to finish him off. Gonna have to keep this commando evasive. Can't afford to take many hits.
All weapons are go.
Ooh, good hit on the large laser there. Alright, let's see what he does. Alright, he's going after a Shadowhawk. That's actually a good choice for us.
Commander? Coordinates received.
Alright, our blackjack is in a good position to
Got it.
hit him hard. Good hits there.
Order.
Push up with the Icarus.
Firing on target.
Good hits from the Icarus there. Alright, side torso damage.
That's a critical hit.
I'm on the clock. What do
Push
you
up
want?
with our Shadowhawk. And all weapons. Nice hits there.
Well,
Knocked down. Alright, all targets eliminated. Successful mission.
Mission successful.
All right, so as you can see, contract payment was increased. Contract payment increased by 40%. Gained 1 reputation. So see where it says ammo cost deducted. That's a new change. So basically we spent 12, almost 1,300 C-bills on our cost of ammunition. Not a big deal with the weapons that we have, but there are some weapons that can cost $1 million per shot, specifically the Davy Crockett. So it's not a huge factor, but you kind of have to think about it. As your weapon systems increase in cost, then you really have to think about it. So let's see. So luckily, our pilot was not injured in the Wasp, but our Wasp is in bad shape here. We might be selling that Wasp for scrap. Commando needs a little bit of repair. Everybody else is good. Alright, so we'll take the Raven part. And then... Ooh, a tag. Alright, so the tag is very valuable right now. Oddly enough. So would be the Beagle probe would be handy too. I'm gonna go with the tag. Hopefully we'll get the Beagle probe as well. So we got a Raven, 2 medium lasers, 2 SRM4 Screaks, the tag, core. We did not get the Beagle probes. That's okay. That's actually not a bad mission for us overall. All right. So let's go to the mech bay. See what we can do. All right, we can repair the Commando in 2 days. All right, what can we do with this Wasp? All right, so it's lost its center torso. So we have to put in a core. Is it worth it for this thing? Do we even have a core? Oh, so we do have a 345, a 145 core. So if I put that core in, now we're a ton over. This thing is so worthless as it is. It's not really a viable mech. Unless it's going to be 100% sensor locker. It can't carry a tag. Now, we're going to back out of this. Confirm. And we're going to sell this Wasp as scrap. It's just not worth it. Alright. Let's wait until we get our... Let's go ahead and wait until we get all of our mechs back. Alright, now we have 2 pilots that are out. Okay, let's go to our barracks. First and foremost, because our pilots are just not getting it done here. We need to use these points
What can I do for you?
as quickly as we
Leaning
can
Mech warrior training.
to get our pilots up to
How's it
speed.
going? Orders?
Saber Wolf. Let's upgrade your piloting.
Training confirmed, Commander.
I'm here.
Good to go.
Scrub. I guess we're going to do piloting for you.
Training complete.
Alright, so we were very lucky that Scrub was not seriously hurt in that engagement where he lost the center torso. So we're very fortunate there. So let's find another quick mission. Alright, so we're... here we go. Here's a nice battle. Let's do 2 and 8 so we can get some cash. Alright, so our pilots are... Alright, so let's put Coldfire in the Blackjack because he's a better gunner. Let's see. Right, we're going to take the Commando. We're going to take the Jenner, put it in. Alright. One interesting thing is we did get our XO as a pilot. As you can see, he's a horrible pilot. Alright. Kind of down to our dregs here. Alright, so we'll take Hacker here. We'll put our sensor locker in the Commando. And let's go. Let's get one more mission in here. It's going to be a shorter stream today. Nice quick load up. I always love the load up times early on in a career when you don't have a lot of assets to load up.
I like it here. It's
Load time
lush.
is beautiful. Alright, so we got a vehicle, a Hunter Light Support Tank, and a wheeled APC. Not exactly a juggernaut enemy force here.
Aye, aye.
See if we can take out the APC first. Glad we took a fair amount of cash on this deal, on this mission. Not the best hit percentages here, so let's actually sensor lock.
Got a sensor lock. Let's do this.
Let's close in with our
Roger.
Jenner.
No shooting, just running.
We can do some missile spam here on this APC.
Roger.
And hit on one missile. Not the best showing there.
I hear ya.
But again, since we have this one vehicle isolated, we'll keep shooting at that vehicle. Decent hit percent chances on the AC2s.
Be good.
Whenever you get an enemy isolated, regardless of what the enemy is, it's always a good opportunity to take
Understood.
an
Movement
enemy
back.
off the field quickly, which is good for your whole team. Alright, so let's take the shot here with the AC.
Taking
Oh,
target.
nice. Alright, there goes that APC.
Report. One less vehicle.
So instantly we've got a numerical advantage reinforced. It was 5 against 4, now it's 5 against 3. I'd actually love it if we got some mech reinforcements here. Because the most we can get out of this is some components, which is not very exciting.
Receiving you.
push up with the commando. What is this
Aye, copy.
10-ton vehicle? Wheeled APC. Alright, let's actually go ahead and hit this wheeled APC.
Commander.
Alright, you know, same logic here.
No shooting, just running.
When we have an enemy isolated and unsupported,
Copy that.
that's where you go for the throat and try to take him out. Again, we only hit with one missile. Alright, so we got something with a sizable AC. That Hetzer, what does that Hetzer have on it?
Waiting on you, Commander.
Let's move up to Blackjack.
Pedal to the metal.
Can't see what that Hetzer has on it because I don't have vision. Alright, let's keep hitting the
All
APC
weapons,
here.
go. Yes, Commander.
I'm on the clock. What do you want? All right, let's get down to it.
Alright, see if we can finish off this APC.
What attitude
Nice. Nice hits there. Vehicle destroyed.
Who brings a tank to
Very good.
I can see why people enjoy this line of work.
Orders.
Alright, let's see if we can get around the flank on this vehicle.
No shooting, just running.
On this Hetzer here. Good hit percentage. It has an AC-20 on it.
Locking in all weapons.
So we have to take this Hetzer seriously because it could do a lot of damage to any of our light mechs.
Good.
Or even our mediums if we get hit in the wrong way. So let's stay evasive
Let's go.
and keep hammering down on this Hetzer.
Taking the shot.
Not having a lot of good luck with lasers here. All right, the AC-20 just got shot at our Jenner. Fortunately, it
What can I do
missed.
for you?
That could have been very bad for our
Back to
Jenner.
you, no shooting.
Let's do precision strike.
Uh-huh. Yeah? What can I do you for?
Icarus, can you get in range? No, you cannot. It's too slow.
Let's move.
Too slow to get in range.
I'm on the clock. What do you want?
So the Icarus is a very old design. It actually was one of the earliest mechs, and it was one of the early running mates for the Mackies. So you'd have Mackies advancing at slow speed, and then you'd have Icaruses in support or as scouts for the Mackie. So interesting background behind the Icarus. Speaking of interesting, let's look at our follows so far this stream. So we had Nicolat Wati has followed. Eva Steven 36M has followed. Vankey 178. Snatchall _ has followed. So thank you all for following during our stream. We really appreciate it. Just a reminder, if you do follow us,
What's up, boss?
during our streams, or just follow us, period, you're entered into our monthly Funko Pop giveaway.
Roger.
We need to announce the winner for last month very shortly. We've just been tied up with some things off camera. But we're going to be announcing the winner for September very quickly, and October giveaway is right around the corner. So you actually could have, if you follow us right now, you'd have a chance to get into the running for both of those prizes.
On it.
Good hits on the hitzer there.
Waiting on you, Commander.
Okay, we really need to finish this guy off before he can shoot again. This shot is really critical here. If we can finish off this hitzer before he can shoot. Oh, okay, AC-20 destroyed.
There's more where
Alright,
that
so we
came
didn't
from.
destroy the target, but we took out that AC-20, which is really huge. So now that Hetzer is a paper tiger without that AC-20. So we can finish it off without
Got it.
too much fear. Alright, now we got one more vehicle left.
Vehicle trashed.
I'm on the clock. What do you want?
Alright, let's see. That vehicle's really...
Let's make some bad decisions.
Oh, looks like we lost audio. Happens sometimes with this game. Actually, it happens more with the mod, occasionally.
Roger.
Not quite sure what causes that, but we're almost at the end of the mission anyways. So,
Yes, boss.
alright, so we gotta work around.
You
It's
got
gonna
it.
take us a
Going
couple
flat
turns
out.
just to get, because this enemy is clearly
I hear
just
ya.
gonna hide in that valley till we go get him.
Going turbo. Commander.
No real path to him that way, so we're gonna just have to loop around the long way around this hill.
I'm on the clock. What do you want?
Hopefully this won't take too long.
Let's make some bad decisions at high speed.
Ready to get it on. Maximum speed.
Be nice if the enemy would move towards us here, but the AI is actually doing the
Waiting
smart
for
thing,
order.
which is staying in the canyon. It's probably hoping it could get a lucky shot or two in
Waiting
on some
you,
of our
Commander.
mechs and cause some damage. Its chances of survival are negligible. But since
What's
it's an
up?
AI, it's not so worried about that as it is about selling its life as expensively as possible.
I'm on the clock. What do you want?
Alright, so what do we got? We got a light support tank. We got plenty of called strike points here, so let's do a called strike. Missed on the call strike. Nothing better than when we miss on a call
Got
strike.
something you want done? Copy that.
Oh man. We hit our Shadow Hawk.
Now who's done for
There,
it?
that was
Yes, Commander.
one of those situations where friendly fire can really cause you a headache there. Luckily our Shadow Hawk didn't have its armor penetrated, so we should be okay there. Just kind of a lessons learned, like when you have friendly fire on for yourself and the enemies, you just...
What can I
I
do for
probably should have not taken that shot.
you? Going turbo.
Okay.
Waiting for orders.
All right, again.
I'm on the clock.
All right, so let's push in with our Shadowhawk here. No, we can't get into that valley that way. All right, so the Shadowhawk will just stay stationary. Fire. Burn off some of that armor.
Yes, Commander.
We're gonna have to go the long way around. Clearly,
Understood. Moving
this
fast.
enemy vehicle has found a great place to just sit and force us to slowly pick him apart.
Roger. Standing by.
And we have a path
On it.
to his rear, so let's move up our Jenner. And hit him in the rear.
I hear ya. Pedal to the metal.
Hopefully
Firing
we can finish this
everything
one
I've
out
got.
pretty soon. Again, we're hitting our Shadowhawk there with some friendly fire.
Ready for orders.
Not ideal.
On the move. Full speed. I'm gonna make some trouble.
Light support. Probably one or two hits away at this point. See if our Shadowhawk can finish him off. There we go. He looks good. Alright.
Who brings it?
So sorry we lost
Mission
audio there. It
successful.
happens with modded Battletech from time to time. Alright, so we got a good payout. Our ammo cost was less than 1,000 C-bills. So it doesn't make a big impact on us. And it's not a situation where you would say, oh, I don't want to use my SRMs because it'll cost me some money. So, yeah, I think it's pretty much business as usual from a strategy standpoint about your base weapons. Obviously, there's going to be some weapons that become more expensive to use over time. We're definitely going to take this AC-20. Let's see. So as you can see, it gives you the cost. So cost per ammo. So the AC-20 costs you 100 C-bills per round. Machine guns, 3 C-bills per round. SRM, 4 per round. Technically, we should take the LRM-20 here. And we got a core. We got some good stuff to sell here. So, nice mission as far as getting some components. I don't know if we have a mech that we want to put that AC-20 on. I could put it on the Shadowhawk, but then we're going to have to strip some other weapons off of it, so it's not my first choice. Alright, so first and foremost, let's get our
Waiting for
pilots the benefit of their experience.
Waiting on you, Commander. Receiving you.
Training confirmed, Commander.
I'm on the clock. What do you want?
Actually, let's save that for something more
Ready
useful.
for orders.
Commander?
Commander.
Yes, Commander.
I'm receiving you.
Training complete.
Okay. Let's look in the mech bay. Alright, so we've got a part of a Raven, part of a Valkyrie, and part of a Locust. Not exactly growing our lance by leaps and bounds. Nothing in the store that's going to help us from a mech standpoint. Let's sell off some stuff that we probably don't need here. Let's see. I'm not a big fan of LRM 5s, so let's sell those. I would say the same for the SRM 2s. They're really not very useful. I'm very excited about getting this tag. These 40 cores are not going to help us, so we'll sell those. We'll keep the 145 core. The jump jets, we'll keep 6 jump jets, sell the rest. Sell these arms because they're generic. Alright, so we're almost up to 2 million C bills. We're going to be paying our bills in 5 days. So I think we're in a good place here to